A very good morning to all of you. I am Sonam Dubey, Assistant Professor in SILT College, Bhopal. Now, today I am discussing about the computer networking. The topic name is Design Issues, Interfaces and Services. Now, what are the design issues? In the previous chapter, we have discussed about the OSI layers. So, OSI layer basically consists of 7 basic layers, and while designing these layers, we have facing a lot of design issues. Now, the design issues for the layers of computer network. Now, the first one is reliability, scalability, addressing, error control, flow control, resource allocation, statistical multiplexing, routing, and the last one is security. Now, the main design issues are as follows. Now, the reliability. Reliability means a loss of information while the data transfer. When the network channel and the components may be unreliable, so the result is that the loss of information while data transfer. So it is an important design issue to make sure that the information transfer is not distorted. So we have to take care of this. The system is more reliable. So there is less chances of data loss. Now, the second one is scalability. Scalability means when we have talking about the scalability, that means it is just related with the size of computer network. So, the networks are continuously evolving, the sizes are continually increasing, leading to congestion. Also, when new technologies are applied to the added components, it may lead to incompatibility issues. Hence, the design should be done so that the network are scalable and accommodate such addition and alteration. So, and the third one is addressing. At a particular time, innumerable messages are being transferred between a large number of computers. So, a naming or addressing system should exist so that each layer can identify the sender and receiver of each message. That means when the data is transferred between the sender and receiver, so both of them are knowing the address of each other. That means a sender know the address of receiver address and the receiver know the address of sender address. In that particular condition, the data is transferred between the sender and receiver. Now the next one is error control. Unreliable channel introduce a number of errors in the data stream that are communicated. So the layer needs to agree upon the common error detection and error correction method so as to protect data packet while they are transferred. So the data link layer basically provide the error control mechanism in which the data is transferred between the sender and receiver. So it is take care of this, so there is less number of error occur. If the data has consist of any error, so there must be error mechanism that correct that particular error, and after correcting it sent to the receiver. Now the next one is flow control. The flow control means the constant data rate is maintained at both the side, either in sender side or receiver side. If the rate at which the data is produced by the sender is higher than the rate at which data is received by the receiver, so there is a chance of overflowing. That means in that particular case there is a problem of congestion. While when the data is transferred from the sender side to the receiver, so data is sending again and again, but the receiver not having any mechanism to receive that particular message at proper way, so there is a chance of error. So in that particular case, so we have to take care of this. So there is a flow control mechanism at both sides. So we can say the flow control is also a major design issues while designing any network. Now, the resource allocation. Resource allocation means when we have to transmit the data from sender to receiver. So, for this purpose, we have to allocate and deallocate the resources to the process. Which process participate in that particular transmission, it has to be firstly allocated, and after transmission, after completion their work, it should have to be deallocated. So, computer network basically provides services in the form of network resources to the end users. So, the main design issues is to allocate and deallocate resources to the process. So, allocation and deallocation should occur so that minimal interferences among the host occurs and there is optimal uses of resources. So, while studying about the data link layer, so data link layer basically provide the error control, flow control and access control mechanism. When we have to transmit the data from sender to receiver side, it has a lot of mechanisms like CRC, that is check, redundancy check, and various error control or error correction mechanism. It also consists of flow control mechanism, that in that method the constant data rate is maintained at both sides, and in access control mechanism, so there is a access mechanism is followed between both the sides. So these are the main design issues. Now the next one is statistical multiplexing. Statistical multiplexing, it is not feasible to allocate a dedicated path for each messages while it is being transferred from the source to the destination. So the data channel needs to be multiplexed so as to allocate a fraction of bandwidth or timer to each host. So multiplexing is also a technique in which there is a multiple source send the data at the single receiver. So, in that particular case, the multiplexing technique is used for data transmission. Now, the next one is routing. Routing is a mechanism that basically find the best path among the multiple paths from source to the destination. The routing involves choosing an optimal path among all possible paths in terms of cost and time. So there are several routing algorithms like Dijkstra algo, link state algo, border BSF algo, minimal cost, spanning tree, and lot of algorithm which is basically used for routing the path. And the next one is security. As we know, security is a major concern in all of the data transmission. A major factor of data transmission is to defend it against threats like eavesdropping and subscription, alteration of messages. Whenever a source sends the data to the receiver side, there are a lot of unauthorized access that alter that particular data. So there should be adequate mechanism to prevent unauthorized access to data through authentication and cryptography. So nowadays authentication and cryptography various mechanism is also available, that is basically used for to authorize the user, because nowadays there are a lot of things are occur like unauthorized access. So the unauthorized user try to access that particular and private message and alter that particular data. So for this purpose a cryptography is also used so that no one can alter the data. Now the next one is interfaces and the services. Interface are networking communication point for your computer. Each interface is associated with a physical or virtual networking devices. Typically, your server will have one configurable network interface for each Ethernet and wireless internet card you have. In addition, it will define a virtual network interface called the loopback or local host interfaces. This is used as an interface to connect application and process on a single computer to other application or process. You can see this refers as the input output interface. So basically the interfaces are used to provide the interaction between the sender and receiver. So there are various techniques are used for interfacing and services between the different layers. Many times administrators configure one interface to service traffic to the internet and other interface for a LAN and private network. So this is the basic thing which is basically used for design issues. So now we can conclude is, so we have to take care of this. We have to always take care. There are a major concern whenever we have to design a multiple computer system, because if we not take care of these design issues, so that data may be lost. So we have to take care of this.